Hi, everybody. Thank you very much for having me here. My name's Ellie Raymont, and I'm here representing Streetwise Opera and With One Voice. I'm the producer of With One Voice, which is an international project based within Streetwise Opera. To give you some context, Streetwise Opera runs opera workshops for homeless people in 5 cities around England, and we also put on mainstream opera productions every 2 years, starring our homeless performers alongside professional singers and instrumentalists. This is an image from our production Fables, which was a film opera and a live performance, which was back in 2010. But our last performance, and I suppose just homelessness for us is really not just about housing. And so taking part in the arts is a holistic approach which helps to build social inclusion and improve people's well-being. This is our latest production, which just happened last Easter, called The Passion, which was a site-specific version of Bach's St. Matthew Passion, created by our groups in Manchester, with the world-renowned choir The 16. Fabulous performance, production with 3 sold-out shows, 4 and 5-star reviews, and a BBC4 broadcast on Easter Monday. So With One Voice itself began back in 2012 as a challenge from the London 2012 Cultural Olympiad to represent homeless people in the London 2012 Festival. What we decided to do was to put on a one-day festival at the Royal Opera House, celebrating the talents of homeless people through singing, film, theatre and poetry. First time homeless people had ever been represented in a cultural Olympiad. But what next? We were asked to look at Rio 2016, but would a big celebration be right? Homelessness is very different in Brazil, and so we went out there to see what people actually needed for us to do, and what they told us was that they needed help to build the capacity of arts and homelessness organizations out there with exchanges between Brazil and the rest of the world. So what happened then was 2 exchanges in Brazil and the UK in 2015, and finally an international exchange in July this year, just before the Olympics. Again, as part of the Cultural Olympiad, we saw an arts and homelessness occupation of Rio with 40 events, workshops, performances, and talks in central Rio over 5 days. With One Voice was launched there as an international arts and homelessness movement, and the movement aims to strengthen arts and homelessness, the arts and homelessness sector through exchanges in practice and policy. And our sights are set on bringing together an international community of those working or wishing to work in this field. What we're trying to achieve is to strengthen existing arts and homelessness projects around the world, and we believe that by sharing our experiences and our knowledge, everybody's work can be made better and stronger. We want to inspire new arts and homelessness activity of any genre to take place. And so the movement will nurture new projects and artists through mentoring and incubation funding. We also hope to influence policy in relation to homelessness in the arts, and are encouraging countries to create local and national strategies. For example, in Brazil, the homeless people's movement has a direct and legally protected link to local government and must be consulted on all decisions regarding homelessness. In Manchester, on the slide here, we brought the homeless people's movement to Manchester and helped to influence the creation of the Manchester Homelessness Charter, which includes a section on the rights of homeless people to access arts and culture. Our final aim is to increase awareness of the importance for arts with homeless people. And by putting on international events and seeking media attention for them, we aim to get our members' message to a wider audience and celebrate the artistic achievements of homeless people. This image is of homeless people in Sao Paulo collecting cameras for the Cafe Art, their UK charity. They did a calendar project, and those photos created a calendar which received extensive TV and newspaper coverage. We've already discovered some amazing work around the world. This slide is of choreographer and dancer Yuki Aoki, who in Tokyo has created a professional dance company with formerly homeless people. He went out in the street and danced for people to attract potential members. We've met lots of organisations around the world using Theatre of the Oppressed in Australia, America, Brazil, and the UK, to name a few. This is Theatre of the Oppressed New York City, which has developed a fascinating branch called Legislative Theatre, which brings together officials and decision makers with homeless people to work creatively on solving problems to do with homelessness. Here in Glasgow, at Lodging House Mission, a choir of homeless people meet every Friday to sing together. They performed at the first With One Voice in 2012, with an original composition with the help of Scottish Opera and Given It Loudly, community music organisation. We also have met in Osaka, back in Japan, there's a suburb which doesn't actually appear on any maps, such as the stigma of homelessness attached in Japan. And there, a poet and activist called Kanayo has set up a cafe, guest house, and art university program for homeless and unemployed people. It's also a social enterprise and open to travellers. Things are still very much in the early days of the movement, and it's definitely a work in progress. We're always looking for new projects and to be part of it, and for people involved to tell us what they really need the movement to do for them. We've got big plans for exchanges coming up in the USA, Canada, and Japan over the next few years, but still aim to be responsive to opportunities that might arise for collaboration when they come up. We met some people a couple of weeks ago at the International Arts and Culture Summit in Edinburgh, and raised some really interesting ideas about a possible arts and homelessness strategy for Scotland, which we're now looking into, for example, and hoping to find the right people to talk to. Could that be somebody here today? At the next Olympics in Tokyo 2020, we hope to ensure homeless people are included for the third time in the Cultural Olympiad, and we'll have 2 exchanges in 2018 and 19 to evolve what kind of thing that will be so that it represents homeless people there and what they want to express. Just to finish with a quote from one of the choir members in Rio that we worked with in July, a 62-year-old man who'd been singing with the choir for 2 months. They performed on stage at the end of the week, and he said, "It was very emotional for me, and as I felt that I was becoming a person. At the place your head is at, you feel like you're garbage, like it's in a vegetative state. That's not living. But there, at that moment, I felt like I was a person, an artist, there in the middle of that room." Thank you.